whatever time of day it is for you. I'm Zoe, also known as Hitch to the Stitch, and this is my craft podcast where I'll discuss the things that I've made recently, the things that I'm working on, and anything that I've bought, which I haven't. So I've been good. I haven't bought any new fabric or yarn, so that won't be a part of today's podcast. So I'll jump right in. The first thing that I finished, I've got five finished objects today. 6 if you include the shorts and shirt as a set, and I think 4 things that I'm working on. So yes, the first thing that I made is this shirt and short set. I will take a better video for you or photo so you can see what it really looks like as well. This is the Locker Loop shirt by Gracie Steel, and the shorts are also a pattern by Gracie Steel, and they are called the, oh dear, I can't remember. I'll put in the name. I can't believe I've forgotten what it's called. But they're amazing shorts. They're super flattering, I find. The way that they hug the waist is really, really nice. It's got this long elastic band from here to here. There's a couple different ways that you can make that. I've also already made a skirt that uses this construction method. And this is a new make for me, and I really wanted a set like this for a really long time. So the fabric I got from Spotlight, and I absolutely love it. It's so beautiful, very colourful and playful. So it was a really fun make. I thought her instructions were really good. And yeah, I actually had a really fun time making this, and it wasn't too challenging. So only good things to say about the pattern. The buttons were so difficult to choose. I was in front of like a wall of buttons for about half an hour trying to decide. I ended up going with these ones here. Still not sure. I've made the buttonholes this size, but I will, you know, if I find something that suits better. Basically, I didn't want something that was too attention seeking since the fabric is quite loud itself. I just wanted it to nicely sort of mix in there, because I'm planning to wear this open a lot, and also I'll button it up and tuck it in on one side and wear it that way as well, so you can see the shorts and show them off a little bit more. Yes, this is my first time wearing it. I finished it for this weekend away. I'm on a surf trip with some friends up in Merimbula, which is on the east coast of Australia, sort of just into New South Wales from Victoria, and I come from Victoria, Melbourne. So it's really beautiful here. I'll take some videos or clips to show you what it looks like here. I've never been before, so it was really nice, and we had a really fun surf yesterday. So I'm here with friends, and hopefully they don't wake up yet and come out and see me filming, because that would, yeah, it's scary enough talking to a camera. I don't need to talk to a camera with friends in the back. Yeah, so this was my first finished object. I'm not sure if I have anything more to say other than I definitely will be making more of these shirts and short sets. They're super fun, super easy to wear. You can mix and match, and yeah, I really like them. So that's the first one. The second one took me about a month to make. It is the Clover Tee I'll put the pattern designer's name on the screen. It's a tee from Ravelry, and you can see here it looks like a child's t-shirt, and it kind of fits like a child's t-shirt. To be honest, I spent so long making this, and it is very small. It was a bit of a fiasco. So the yarn I used, I held double, and it's 800 meters. It's an acrylic yarn that I've had for a while. I've got about 8 balls, and I think I used only about half of 2 of them because holding them double. So really about 1 ball of yarn for this whole t-shirt. So I've got so much of it left. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. But yes, I really love the pattern, like the colors that come out. I love the bright colors, but it doesn't fit like I expected. It's still nice and I can still wear it. It's just, instead of it being the style that I was expecting, it's a bit tighter, a bit more body fitting. Planning to wear it, like say, to work with a pair of high-waisted white tailored pants. I think that would be really nice, and I wore it yesterday on this surf trip with some jeans, and it's really nice. But It is a lot more tight than expected. So I knitted up a swatch, and my swatch was a little bit bigger than, like my gauge was bigger than what was requested by the pattern. So I decided, oh, okay, I'll make the extra small and I'll tighten my gauge a little bit. Already I'm a little bit of a tight knitter sometimes. So I made it extra tight, thinking, oh, this will give me a size small. It'll have nice drape. It'll be, you know, heavy, nice fabric, and it does have a nice drape, except that you don't experience that because it's so tight. So yes, it was a bit of a fail on my part with the sizing. I should have just made the size small because I did want it to have a little bit of positive ease, but now it has quite a bit of negative ease. And I did try blocking it. I stretched it out as much as I could. This looked really, really small before that, but it's still a pretty similar size to before blocking in terms of how it fits on. I think it's the acrylic yarn that doesn't really allow for the same sort of natural sort of stretching or loosening qualities as wool yarns that would actually settle in place a bit new, whereas this kind of either couldn't get stretched as far as I wanted it to, or just shrank back to what it naturally was. So, and I've also got this problem. It's not really a big problem, but it tends to roll at the bottom here with this, the 1x1 rib to finish it off. It rolls up a little bit, and not so obvious when I am wearing it, but it does flare just a tiny bit. And I tried to block that out thinking maybe it'll stay down, but it just hasn't really worked that great. It's not super obvious and it doesn't look bad when it's on. It's more just, it's a little bit, you can see there, it's like I turn it around and it just flips up. Like when I'm wearing it, it doesn't really do that so much, but yeah, I mean, in some ways I'd like to make another. I like the shirt pattern, but I think I would have to figure out the gauge problems that I'm having a bit more. And honestly, it took so long. Like a month of me working really hard on this. I'm not the fastest knitter. I do English style, so which is, you know, or can be slower than continental. I've given continental a try. I just don't like it as much. I kind of like throwing my yarn. So I don't know. I'm not slow, but I'm not a speedy knitter, that's for sure. So it took a very long time to make this. So whether I go into another summer type project, I mean, in Australia we're heading towards winter anyway, so I'm going to start knitting up some more winter oriented things, and I like wearing sweaters more anyway, so we will see if I mean, I've got so much of this yarn left, I've got to do something with it. I'm thinking maybe another t-shirt, but one that's a lot more oversized. There is a couple of t-shirts, I can't remember their names, I'll just put them on the screen with their names, that I'm thinking of making. There's that are just a lot bigger, a lot looser fits. So that's something that I would like to do at some point, but yeah, I'm gonna have to work up the courage to go into another fingering weight project for a t-shirt, especially on a larger size than just this tight bodycon. I think it would take a very long time, so if I start now, I could probably finish it up by next summer if I don't work that much on it. But I am happy with the Clover Tee. It is something I'd recommend. It is very pretty on, whether it fits wrong like it fits on me or it fits right. I think it's a nice pattern, and it was quite fun to do, especially at the top with the bit that makes the clovers. So that's finished object number 2. Finished object number 3, I didn't have much to do. I showed you these last time. They are the Laid Edges socks by Kellie. I don't know if I just made that name up, but I'll put her name on the screen. Sorry, I'm not great at remembering the names, and I didn't really write them down like I did, I think, last time for my video. I wrote them down, but I forgot. So it's these socks here. They're really nice. It's not quite fingering weight. It's a little bit bigger than fingering weight. And so I've got this beautiful, what type of yarn is that? I wonder if, I think I might have the information. This yarn it's called Concept by Katia. So in this big ball, which I've got, I'll show you how much left I've got. got this much left, so probably enough to make another pair of socks from this one. It's lovely. I mean, look at those colors, how they're so beautiful. Yeah, and so I paired this one, which is, it's super wash, 75% wool, 25% polyamide. There was a 150 gram ball and 400, plus 400 meters. Yeah, 150 grams plus 400 meters. So usually 400 meters for a fingering weight would be a 100 gram ball. So it is a little bit bigger, which worked perfectly with this pattern. And the yarn I've used at the bottom is also by Katia. It's the same brand, but it is alpaca, and it's quite fine fingering weight. So I've held it double to match the gauge with this one. Just done a little pop at the top, and then just for the toe, I've got a little bit of alpaca. My nails are a little bit chipped because we were going surfing, and so they might look a little bit funny, but that's all right. So yeah, the only thing that I had to do was finish the toe of the other one. So really this isn't a very, I didn't put in much extra work. I think maybe 40 minutes of extra work and I was done and finished. Had to sew in all my ends, and I got to finish this one, which I did yesterday morning. And I wore them last night a little bit, so I love wearing my new socks. This is my second pair of homemade socks that I've made for myself, my third pair overall. But I'm really loving the socks. I think I'll always have one on their needles. I'm very surprised that I became a bit of a sock knitter. But they're just such a luxurious thing to wear, something you've homemade, and generally I wear some slippers so that they don't get ruined on the bottom. And I'll just wear the socks with the slippers. Yeah, so I'm quite happy with these. I can't wait to wear them once it gets a little bit cooler. In Melbourne we've got very strange weather, so who knows, next week I could probably wear them, even though we're just heading out of summer now. The other finished object, do I have? Yes, okay, it is in my hair. I made this Soho scrunchie. I can't remember the designer's name today. I don't know what's wrong with me, but it's by PurlSoho, I believe. Maybe. We'll see. I'll put it on the screen. But I had a little bit of this. I made a couple of extra things. So the yarn that I used for this one, I made a pair of baby socks, and I had another yarn as well that was left over from a beanie project for some baby socks as well. So I had a friend that had a baby girl, which I made these socks from. There's a free pattern, so I'll put it up here. And I did the cable one for the girl. Very, very cute, and they were so tiny. I've got some photos, so I'll put them up. I made them and gave them 2 weeks ago or something like that, and the second pair was just the ribbed, and that was for a baby boy that my friend's sister's having, or had. I think they've both had their children now, so yeah, I don't know, it's very exciting to have a baby in the family, so I just wanted to make them something special. And use up some of my yarn. So I had still a little bit of this left. I still have a little bit of this left. And I made a scrunchie. I really, really like it. I've just put it in my hair, I'll put it back. And I also, just this week as well, made one. So I'm away with friends, and I made one for my best friend's girlfriend. So I used this yarn because she said that she really loved it. Last time we went away, actually not too long ago, to a place called Pacific Palms up near Sydney. I think, yeah, I flew up and we went away for the weekend for his birthday. And we went to Pacific Palms, a nice surfing location. And I had this yarn with me, and she said it was like her favorite color. So I wanted to make her a scrunchie as well, because I figured that she was like a scrunchie person too, like me. She's got beautiful thick hair. I do not have beautiful thick hair, my hair is very thin, but I thought that she'd get a lot of use out of it, and so when I gave it to her, she was like, yes, I'm such a scrunchie person, and she'll get a lot of use. So I've got plenty left over as well, again, so I might make a scrunchie for myself. I don't know, there's so many little projects you can make out of this. I made a beanie for this beautiful girl that I stayed with for Christmas. She's 5 or now 6, so I made her a beanie. I can't remember if I showed it in any of my previous podcasts, so I'll just put a photo here anyway. For Christmas I stayed with her and her family, so I made her something special out of this yarn. So lots of gifts have come out of this one so far. I like using as much of like the yarns or everything as possible. I don't even get rid of any of my scraps because I can use them to stuff stuff, or I sort of have a few ideas for different tapestry or weaving projects that I'd like to integrate all my scraps into. Don't know when. Well, I'll have to have enough scraps at some point, so I like to use everything. So especially because it can be, I wouldn't say it's a highly wasteful, it's not too wasteful, it depends on how you approach it, but sewing can be quite a wasteful hobby if you don't use everything, or there's often when you cut into fabric you might use as much of it as you can, but you don't always get to use all of the fabric. So I like to try, I keep all my scraps. I think most people do, so it's not very wasteful, but it's just I guess the textile industry has a lot of waste, and it can be the same for home sewers if we don't actively try to use as much as possible. I think that's my last finished object. I'll share a photo of the scrunchie that I made out of that beautiful green fabric so you can see what the fabric knits up like, and I'll move on to the things that I am working on. So that same little girl that I made that beanie for, that I stayed with in Germany, I absolutely adore her. She calls me her big best friend in Australia. She loved Australia, and oh, Babi, you can see Babi in the background. Babi, come here, come here. This is Babi. He is my mate Nim's dog, and he's very, very beautiful and sweet, and we've had a very good weekend together. So he might join us. We'll see if he gets off, but he might join us for the podcast. Okay, good boy. Good boy. So I'm making a shark pencil case for her for school, and I'm not getting up to get it because I got Babi on me now. But so there's a white zipper that I'm going to sew in here, and so when you open it up, it has all the teeth. I haven't put the eyes on yet, and I haven't put the extra fins on, but it's a really cool little pattern. Are you okay there, buddy? Yeah. Okay, he's gone now. I'll get the zipper now. Okay, so this is the zipper for the mouth. So you can see it's going to have nice jaggedy teeth for the shark. It's a pattern that I found on Ravelry. It's my first bit of crochet that I've done in a really long time. So I kind of had to remember the half double crochet, double crochet. When I first saw half double crochet, I'm like, oh, how do I do that again? I thought about it and figured it out. So this obviously is the mouth, and I checked that some pens fit in there, and they do. Because she's just starting school this year, so I've got to finish it off probably this week and then ship it off to Germany, because I'm pretty sure she started in April. So I was a little bit behind the ball game there, but she'll have a nice shark pencil case to go with her dinosaur beanie that I made her. I'm excited to have her get this one. So it's been very quick. I mean, I've worked on it just this weekend. I cast it all on this weekend, 4.5mm crochet hook, and just a bit of acrylic or wool yarn from Spotlight. Nothing too special because it's just going to have pens and pencils, and be in a classroom with 6-year-olds, so I didn't want to get necessarily a really nice yarn for it. So I will finish this up, take some photos, and I'll put that on my Instagram or something, or maybe next podcast, because I don't think I'll finish it before I put this one up, but if I do, I'll have some photos in here as well. One that I started new since my last podcast is the blouse number 1, I believe it is. Blouse number 1 by you'll find out on the screen. But it's just, my brain's not working this morning. It's early, we didn't get a great sleep last night. Yeah, so this is where I'm up to. It comes across, it's a wide neck, and that has this interesting shoulder construction. I'd never seen it before, so it's building the shoulder in like this. So there's what you work some short rows for the back of the neck, so it's going to stand up a bit higher, and I think it'll be a really nice fit. I'm just using this yarn that it's bamboo cotton, so 70% viscose from bamboo and 30% cotton, and I'm using it for my other crochet granny square pants project, and I was going to make a matching top, and I have got some squares that I've made for that top, but I'm not sure if I'd actually get as much use out of it, and I was debating whether I should just leave all that yarn for that project. But realistically, I'm going to wear this a lot more. I'm going to enjoy this more, and I just couldn't see, like, so I decided it's just that I've had that on the crochet needle for like 2 years and I haven't finished it. So I decided to instead use that yarn. I'll use whatever's left over, can be dedicated to that project if there's enough. So yeah, we'll see how that one goes. But yeah, it's a really nice construction method. I've actually learnt a lot from this about how you can construct a shoulder method like this. I'm not sure what it's called, but I think it's really cool and very pretty. I think it'll look nice, and I really like the wide neckline idea, and it'll be a great, I think, shirt to wear for work. I like wearing a lot of the things that I make to work. So sometimes I'm in the office, sometimes I'm an engineer, and I work a lot on site. So those days I'm just wearing a t-shirt and high vis with some big steel cap boots. But the rest of the time, that means I just make extra effort when I go into the city office, which is maybe 1 or 2 days a week. And yeah, wear some clothes that I've made. It was actually quite good. So I work out, there's a few different locations for work, and one of them is quite a travel, and I go there once a week. It's out in Ballarat, which at the moment I'm moving soon, but it's about 3 hours 20 minutes from home if I get the 2 express trains. So that's a lot of knitting time in one day. So if I don't get those express trains, it's maybe a 4-hour plus journey from home, but I've tended to drive or take the train into the city, and then my boss has been picking me up from there, and we've been continuing the rest of the way either with him or with some other colleagues, so that's quite handy. But still, it's still a good hour and a half in the car, and I don't really have to look at what I'm doing. So yeah, they know that I like to craft. They're okay with me knitting. If I'm in the back seat and there's 2 in the front, then I'll knit. But if I was in the front seat with just my boss, I might not. So I can engage in the conversation just as much. But yeah, if otherwise, yeah, it's fine to knit, and they're all cool with it, because it just keeps my hand busy. And I get to use that time for something, because if I read or went on my phone or anything like that, I'd get car sick. So yes, I have been working on this a little bit, maybe spent a couple of hours just while watching TV. I really like the construction method. I think it'll be really pretty. I know I've said that before, so I should probably just move on. But I'm excited to do this one. It's going quite quick because it's on, let me check, 4.5mm needles, and has quite a big gauge. So I did the gauge swatch and it turned out pretty perfect. I think it's 1 stitch bigger, so I'm just making the small, which I'm usually a small, and if it fits just a tiny bit bigger, that's okay by me. Yeah, so I'll move on from this one. The other 2 is, this one is just, I'm continuing my scarf, my long-term project. It is very beautiful. It's the Estuary Wrap by PurlSoho. I think last time, maybe when I showed it, I was here-ish, So that's actually quite a bit of progress. I know it doesn't look like much and it still looks like a very short scarf, but it is, you know, a fingering and a mohair. It's very, very thin, and it is on, I don't know if these needles say, I don't know if I had to guess, 3.5 millimeter needles. And it's got a nice pattern, so every 6 rows or something there, so it's a free pattern, so I can say that. Every 6 rows there is the cable design, and the cable design changes a little bit. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see all of that, but it's very, very nice. I can't wait to get it. It's cashmere and mohair yarn to make this one, so it feels beautiful. And I'll put that one away because, yeah, it's not much more to say than that. I've got a lot of stitch markers in I like to keep my stitch markers so I can tell when to do the cable and I don't have to think about it. Yeah, that's the Estuary Wrap that you saw last time. The last one, or actually I did undo my Emma socks by Yuka, and they are now just this ball. So I'm gonna have to restart them. They were just a bit too big, so I'm gonna have to go down a size. And yeah, because when I put them on my foot, they're a toe up construction, so when I put them on my foot, it was just already a bit too wide at the toes, and so I want to make them as good as I can because it's such beautiful, beautiful yarn. So that special alpaca that I used for the other socks, and I'll just see if you can see that beautiful color. It's just gorgeous. Anyway, can you see that? Hopefully. It's got a nice little halo to it as well. I can't wait to make those. But they'll be a long-term project because they're very detailed socks with very fine yarn. The other thing that I am working on is for my sister, and this one looks dodgy. Like you can see, I'm hoping the blocking fixes some of the way it looks at the moment. But this is what I'm making. It's a scarf from the Harry Potter knitting magic book, and I'm hoping that, yeah, I'll fix that up a little bit with some blocking. But it was my first. Good morning.
Where's it gone?
Huh?
Who are you talking to? Oh, you're on the phone.
No, I'm videoing.
Oh, sorry, yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking to her.
No, that's okay.
You're sitting there near the window.
I've only got a couple minutes left anyway.
Babi.
Good morning. So yeah, it's the night bus from Harry Potter, and I'm making it into a pillow instead of a scarf because the yarn just wasn't right, and she was happy with that choice rather, so I'm making 3, the 3 sections of the scarf. So this is the night bus, and this is my first attempt at colour work, so it wasn't very good, but I've done a colour work project since then, and I've gotten much better. So it looks a bit dodgy. This one really does look a bit dodgy. My second one, and you can see on the inside as well, I didn't know how to tension my floats. Great. It just looks a bit random. But my second one, the broomsticks, the last one's platform 9 3/4, which I haven't started yet. But the broomsticks, you can see the end of the broomsticks at the moment. There we go. And that is looking nice and lovely on the side of the floats. So I'm getting much better at it, and you can see it's a lot smoother. Like there's not nearly as many issues as I was having with the first one. Yeah, bit of practice, you can see the progress. Yeah, so I'll finish these up soon because I'd like to give a tour next time I see her, which is the end of this month. I'm heading up to Canberra with my brother. We've got a long weekend because of public holiday, so we're heading up to Canberra to see her and her boyfriend's new place. They just bought a house, so I want to go and give her some pillows, and yeah, celebrate her and Adam having a new house. So my sister's name's Casey. She's actually a twin sister, an identical twin sister, but we're quite different, I'd say. But that's, sometimes I make things for her, and she's been asking for this one for a while. I've been pretty bad at getting it done, so this is my last, I think, WIP that I have to show you. And like I said, I don't have any acquisitions this time around. I've been really good. There is a few things that I'm going to need to get soon to match with yarn that I've already got, just to say it's a white wool or something to match with the yarn I've got to make a specific project. So hopefully I'll only be buying stuff that I need to finish projects with the yarn I already have. That's the plan at the moment. I hope you enjoyed this new episode, and I've added in all the videos of the things that I've made. I think this is for sure my favourite thing that I've made over the last couple of weeks, and it's really inspired me to get back into sewing a bit more. Even though it's coming into winter, I don't have too many. I've got a few winter ideas, so I'll be doing a sewing plans video and a knitting plans video soon for the coming months. And have a good day. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think, and goodbye.